Hey there, guys, and happy Friday, or TGIF. I'm delighted you're able to join me this evening again. Thank you to the guests, viewers, and the supporters of the Indie Spotlight Philly, because you know we couldn't do this without you. I am your host, Shay Renee, and I want you to check the link in my Instagram bio to like, share, comment, review, and subscribe to my YouTube entitled The Indie Spotlight Philly. You can watch all of the episodes that you catch here live on my YouTube page, The Indie Spotlight Philly. So go and check that out. I also have a link to my podcast entitled The Indie Spotlight Philly as well. It's available on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. I have uploaded season 1, which has 20 episodes, and I'll be looking forward to uploading season 2. But I've been very busy lately, so I haven't been able to upload it just now, but I'll definitely get it up there. But tonight's episode of the Indie Spotlight of Philly Fridays, happening on Instagram Live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is a stellar one. We have singer, songwriter, and vocal coach Valentina Sounds. And we also have singer, songwriter, and wordsmith Rosie Bonds will be joining us. And I see Valentina is in the room, so I'm going to invite her to the camera so we can start the interview. I want to say hello to everybody that's in here. And, okay, so, oh. Hey!
Hey! This was easy.
Hey! Yeah. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm good so far.
Good.
I wanted to tell you thank you for being able to be reachable, and I'm glad that we can actually do this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. This is awesome.
Yes. So, could you tell me a little bit about what part of Philadelphia you're from?
Well, yeah, I've been living in Philadelphia for the last 12 years. I have always lived right outside Philly. I lived in Upper Darby for a little while, and now I'm in Havertown, but I'm originally from Italy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. What part of Italy? Just
A small town on the coast of Tuscany, more or less, where Florence is.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, so so I know that Valentina is your first name, but how did you come up with the name? It seems self-explanatory, but I like it. Definitely unique.
Well, actually, funny story. My last name is Raffaelli, and in the last 3 weeks, I have had many interactions with many people, and I'm telling you, nobody was able to spell it correctly even once. So the reason why I go by Valentina Sounds is because Sounds is much easier to spell than my actual last name. So while looking for a website that was available when I was trying to create my brand, I decided that one was pretty catchy, and we decided to go with that. There is no really particular reason.
Okay. Well, a very
but,
good one.
I make music and I teach voice lessons, so Sounds seemed like I like the plural aspect of it. It's not just one thing.
I think it's a very good and unique name. And I've noticed something about when I go to find people's music on Spotify, there's so many singers that have a close name. So when I find yours, I'm able to find it.
Perfect.
And that's what I've noticed about. So that's a really good thing.
That's a good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. So where can people find your music?
ValentinaSounds.com, and then literally is Valentina Sounds everywhere. So Facebook, Instagram. The only different one is TikTok, is Valentina Sounds Lessons. But everything else is under just Valentina Sounds. Easy peasy.
Awesome. And what is you also have a YouTube, right? Am I correct?
Yes, and YouTube channel, yes.
So your YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and your website is all Valentina Sounds.
Yep.
Great. Do you have any merch for sale besides your music?
Yes, I have a hot sauce. I don't have one. I don't have one nearby to show you. But the the album that came out, my debut album that came out a few years ago, this little baby right here, it was called Bring on the Fire. And so I thought, what better merch to pair with that than a hot sauce called Bring on the Fire.
Wow.
So I found this local hot sauce producer from Delaware who will make you a hot sauce with a very special recipe hot sauce with whatever sticker you want on it. And it was fun. I got to taste, sample the different hot sauces, and I've received great feedback from this one, and I have a few repeat customers now, so people like it, which is good.
Oh, wow.
I also have a couple of different kind of t-shirts, but yeah.
Wow, so you have t-shirts and you have hot sauces.
Yes.
That's where I like that. It's really unique because I normally hear, the normal merchandise.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see different vocalists or different musicians. They're starting to have different kinds of merchandise.
You gotta get creative,
I like that.
right? You can only get so many t-shirts.
Yeah, that hot sauce does sound good, especially when I'm thinking of like chicken or fried chicken or fish. That sounds good. What is so as being a vocalist and a vocal teacher and a musician, what is some of the best advice you could give to an up and coming artist or someone trying to start music?
Coherent branding. Like we were saying earlier, it's good to have one name where you put everything under that name and it's easy to find online, and dedicate time to your craft and to practicing and to learning new songs, because if you just focus all your attention on promoting and doing all the other million things that an independent artist has to do nowadays, you just lose the passion for it. So I really think it's important to keep cultivating the reason why you're doing it,
Yeah, I think that's definitely important because like now when I see music, it's kind of like independent artists have like a sense of they have more duties or more responsibility. Like they have a bunch of different hats.
It's a never-ending to-do list of, booking gigs and keeping your website up to date, and scheduling, whatever, photo shoots, video shoots. I produce my own videos. I edit them. I have a job because I have to pay rent. So I teach.
Right.
It's just a never-ending to-do list. So when you do find someone that can help you with some of these duties, it's like God sent.
It is, yes, like someone that is reliable and has like good put out time. I notice like as you're working as a musician or as a vocalist or just when you're doing something, sometimes you have people that work really good, but their what do I want to say, their production time, some people like they don't have like real fast production time. And when I find that,
True.
That's actually why I was happy like when I made my 2 songs with like Good Cat Productions.
I was just about to say to preach the praises of Maura from Good Cat Production, everyone. Maura has been helping me booking some gigs, actually. The last month I was music directing a middle school musical, and I was very busy, and things were starting to open back up. So gigs were starting to pop up, and I was so terrified that I was going to be the only one left with no shows for the summer because I didn't have time to book them. So I reached out to her, and she agreed to help me with that task. And, I've got gigs because she's awesome.
Yes, so definitely shout out to Good Cat Productions with Mara and Tyler.
Yes.
With Mara and Tyler Blanchard. So, yeah. And I was just like, I go to the studio, I can get my stuff out on time. And like you said, that's awesome. That's good. Good. So the next question, that actually just pulls me to the next question I was going to ask you. Do you have any up and coming performances that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'm playing on June 19th at the Living Room in Ardmore, and it's a show with Joy Ike and Emily Drinker, who are two amazing singer-songwriters. I cannot wait to listen. I'm more excited about listening to their sets than performing myself. So it's going to be a great show. I just know it.
Hmm.
And that's, you know, valentinasounds.com. You can find all the information up there. And then I have a new song coming out on the 25th, which I'm really excited about. Is going to be my first EDM song.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I produced it with this producer called Bass Space. We had a great collaboration. And I just loved how quick things happen in the EDM studio, you know, like you just sit
Oh,
there
wow.
and you play a keyboard and then you just have fun and create. There's no setting up the microphone and fixing the feedback. It's just plug the keyboard in and go. And I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that process. I hope I get to make more music like that in the future.
Wow, that sounds really I'm glad like you had a really pleasant time in the studio because I noticed like when you're with like some super producers and producers they're like they take a lot of weight off of like what you be thinking about. They take a lot of weight off like what you think about and artists do need that they do need really really good support like what
Hmm.
makes like the production of the music and stuff. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
How long have you been doing music or being a vocalist or a vocal coach?
All right. So music, I started playing piano when I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then I have a love-hate relationship. Now I have just a love relationship with the piano. But when I was little, it was more love-hate, you know, I didn't want to practice. And now I see it in my students and I'm like, oh, they remind me of me. They don't want to practice either. But but then I fell in love with theater and then eventually with musical theater, and musical theater brought me closer to singing. When I was a teenager, I joined a wedding band. We were
Wow.
singing a lot of 70s disco music.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it was something else. And they just sort of, it was the technique of I throw you in the water and see if you can swim back then. So I didn't really get professional voice lessons until I was in my 20s, which was, you know, 5 years into the wedding band with
Mm,
no proper technique. So it was a bit of a journey to undo a lot of bad habits that I had
hmm.
created during this
Mm,
time of just sort of pasture
yeah.
raised singing, being left to my own devices. So I, when I got into teaching voice, I really wanted to save people some trouble and some headaches when developing their voice and developing their style. And I know for me it was such a long and painful journey of finding the right voice teachers, and I know I just wanted to be there for whoever needs me, to talk about technique and really finding your true vocal identity, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And playing the piano is a very, very tedious thing. I did a, a little bit of piano in school and a little bit of jazz piano, and I'm telling you, you really, really have to be focused on that. And to be
Yeah,
able to play and sing at the same time is something that's like really, really worth talking about.
that's a whole different skill on it that you have to practice on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So uh is there any artists that come to mind that you would like to collaborate with?
I mean, the people I talked about earlier, you know, Joy Ike and Emily Drinker are amazing. I would love to sing something with them. They both have such unique voices and styles. But if I have to, like, you know, aim super high, there is this artist that I love called Kimbra. She was the
Okay, she's
vocalist.
with Goatee.
Yeah, she worked with Gautier, but her solo stuff is just amazing. She's super
Wow.
creative, and she really takes the term vocalist to a whole different level. Like, she arranges all her songs
Mm-hmm.
just with her voice, and there are all these layers. So if I had to put a dream in the jar, it would be to one day be able to get her to produce one of my songs or collaborate on writing something together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been really into sort of the blend between the songwriter style and electronic music
Mm-hmm.
lately. So I would love to keep moving towards that direction.
I definitely think that could work out. I was just thinking, like, when you were talking about EDM, about you wanting to do more you said you want to do more like music with like EDM or different producers.
Yeah, I just love playing with sound and creating
Mm-hmm.
an atmosphere. And like, even the one of my most popular releases is Sad Song, which is just piano and
Mm-hmm.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
But so there is no EDM
Yeah.
in it. But the producer Matt Muir from Retro City Studios in Philadelphia and I decided to have fun with a piano track, and he opened a track for me, beginning of the song until the end, and I just played random stuff, random eerie things, and then he put his magic spin on it, and now there are these very um, texturized
Mm-hmm.
piano notes in the back of the
Mm-hmm.
song, and sometimes you hear them and sometimes they're very subtle, but it's all about creating a little bit more space and aiding the message of the song. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to try and do more things like that in the future, if
You
possible.
know, it's a really good idea. They actually just made me think about like when I think about people that like remix like Sam Smith songs,
Mm-hmm.
and people who also and like Skrillex and Ellie Goulding,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
like
love
what
Ellie
they
Goulding.
do. Like what they do with like electronic song, or when they do that with like a different, like a Rihanna song or something, like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like put those. So I think that is something that is really good. So I also wanted to ask you, when you do so, since you were talking about like you editing, like you edit your own videos and stuff, does does your musical theater background help you with making a video? Because like making the video is like acting.
Yeah. Oh,
Can you tell me
totally.
a little bit about that?
Yeah. I love to act. I try to be quite involved in the community theaters of my area. Shout out to Players Club of Swarthmore.
Hmm.
They're very kind people, and they sort of brought me back into acting because I used to act in Italian when I was in Italy, and I really didn't have the courage to try and act in English until a couple of years ago. And
Okay.
I started with a musical. We did Jesus Christ Superstar, and
Oh,
I
okay.
got to play Mary Magdalene,
Hmm.
and then I auditioned for a straight play, and I got the role that I was hoping to get,
Mm.
and it wasn't too bad. I didn't, fall on my face too hard. So that gave me a little bit of confidence in myself, and the video clips that I produced after um, incorporate a little bit of this need that I have to perform and act. I love the project that we made for Eat the Chocolate, with
Hmm.
backup singer and choreographer extraordinaire Sarah Mingle, and
Awesome.
yeah, and Skylar Jenkins, who is an amazing videographer from Philadelphia, who is now in California. Unfortunately, we lost him to
Hmm.
California. But we had so much fun, and Eat the Chocolate is just the story of this person who shows up to an audition, and everybody's very poised and wearing black and knows the choreography, and she's wearing all these loud colors and doesn't know what's going on. But by the end of it, she drags everybody into her fun movement series instead of doing the choreography like everybody else is learning. And in Sad Song, I wanted to also incorporate a little bit of dancing and a little bit of performing art into it. So I collaborated with Catherine. Oh, now her last name is escaping me. But she's an amazing aerialist and pole dancing instructor. And the movement that she came up for Sad Song is just so, I hate using the word interesting, but it's interesting and it's different and it's interpretive. We had long conversation about the lyrics and how each motion had to represent the word rather than being a movement on its own. So I really enjoyed working with her and then having all that material to work with during the editing process. That I think that's one of the best videos I've ever edited. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I was saying like when I was seeing the dancer or the choreographer that was she the one dancing in the video?
She is, but we hit it
Okay,
well.
because I was like, I thought she was
It
like
could be
doing
me.
like a little ballet.
It could
So
be
I'm
me, but
like,
it's not.
seen her doing like some ballet, so I was like, okay, cool. Like I can like look at for a lot of times, even though when I can't help it, I'm always like literally always like reviewing a whole lot of stuff. Like so, I'm always reviewing a lot of stuff, and I was like, cool. Like I can tell like if someone put a lot into something.
Oh, that's good.
If they put a lot into it, so yeah. So I enjoyed the video, and I enjoyed the video, the concept, and the song.
Thank you for watching it.
Yeah. Uh, due to everything that happened with COVID-19, messing up live events, so many people we've lost through the pandemic. Where do you see like the near future of live music?
I honestly, I don't know. I hear both sides of the argument, and both sides being a lot of people that are seeing a renaissance coming up because they are hoping, and I guess I'm hoping that too, that people realized how just sad life is without being able to go to a live concert, being in the same room as a singer, being in the same room as a theater company, a dance company. Like, arts are just so important, being able to roam the hallways of a museum. So I'm really hoping that those people are right and that there will be a renaissance of live music. At the same time, I also see the benefit of having live streams, because it opens the opportunity for people who may not be able to get out of their house to still enjoy a live show and a live event. So somehow I hope we can still do a little bit of both moving forward, even if it's not all the time. I think it's important to make those live shows available for those of us who can't, for whatever reason, move and go to a live event. And also there is the side of me who's afraid that people have just gotten too comfortable staying in their own house. And are just not going to be able to go to a live event and feel like, I have Netflix.
Yeah.
So there's a little tiny bit of worry there.
Yeah. You know what? I also hope that due to the lack of live entertainment and what happened with music and what happened with everybody, I hope to see as many people out at independent artists' concerts and venues.
Yeah.
I hope that they have as many as mainstream artists. I hope to see everyone missing music and just buying up everybody's tickets Like no
I
matter
hope
who's
so too.
playing, who's out there, who's out there. It's just a live show and like it's packed, because like being a music artist, it takes a lot. It's a lot. It's a 24-hour job and
It
it's a
is.
lot. It's a lot when you see it. And then a lot of like I hope that there's more grants and more funding towards a lot of independent artists.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so do you work with any, do you currently work with any organizations?
Philadelphia Folk Song Society. I'm a member of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society.
Hmm.
There is Philadelphia. Oh my gosh, I would have to check my email to give you the correct
Okay.
the correct order of words. Maybe I can write a comment when you're interviewing your next guest.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know that there are a few Philadelphia companies that do grants for independent artists that were affected by COVID-19. I
Hmm.
think their deadline is and it was May 30th, but still, it's free to use their websites to promote your music, your events. Um, I use Bands in Town to post my concerts. Is that what you meant by organization?
Yeah, sure. I just try to. I think that like a lot of I ask like certain questions also because I think that there there's a lot of people that are artists, but it's not also enough people that like I would like to be also one of the people that advocate for artists
Right.
and try to have more things. I think if we like try that and we just be more try to be like more community based and stuff and get to know each other stuff that more stuff can be done and raise more stuff because it costs money to do this and it costs us money
Yeah.
and time
And time.
and it's so much money and time and like a lot of artists I see they might stop because they weren't correctly like supported or have the
Yeah, yeah,
funds
they
and
lack
stuff.
that network. It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to build that net at the beginning, especially. Now I've been here for 12 years and I still feel like I don't know really really everybody yet
Wow,
in the
wow.
indie music
Yeah.
scene. Like all the people at WXPN. I don't really have a deep connection with any of um, the anybody who programs XPN, and like that's the main radio of Philadelphia, for
Oh, okay.
example.
What is the name of it again?
WXPN. It's like
Okay.
the main indie artist
Mhm.
radio
Mhm.
of Philadelphia. Um,
Well,
so
sure.
it's not easy to break into the. This is what I'm getting at. It's not easy to break into the tight network that it is
Yes.
sometimes,
Yeah.
the music industry.
It definitely is, definitely. So this is normally the time before I wrap up the interview when I ask my guests if they have a question for me.
Um, are there any venues that you enjoy either performing at or going to listening to live music?
Listening to like so I have not been to I was at World Live Cafe one time and I liked it because like they had like chairs like on like by the on the stage like on the side of the
Mm-hmm.
stage and I love that because I'm like I can stay here for a while if I don't have to stand constantly.
Right.
If I don't have
Yeah.
to stay I can stay and I like that and I hope and I actually hope to see like something happen in the summer like I don't know like maybe like a boat or something and go see that and look at people like have dinner and stuff like that and see the local acts and hopefully meet up with everybody that is somehow some way some shape or some form that I interviewed.
Right.
uh,
Yeah, you should organize an event.
I should I
You
should
should
I
have
hope
your
to help
own
to do that.
festival. There you go. With the
Yeah,
people you've
yes,
interviewed.
I
Let's do it.
should. I
Let's
should.
make it
I would
happen.
love that. Yeah. So I hope to work with you in some way, some shape and form, hopefully in the near future.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I wanted to also I wanted to also thank you for coming on, and I want to thank all the viewers that came in, and thank you for everything.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your questions. And, I'm always here. I'm always available if anybody has any more questions that I can, in my small experience, that I can share, that I
Oh,
can help with. I'm here.
awesome. So I wanted to let you know to have a great night.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Okay, guys, we are now going to bring singer, songwriter, and wordsmith Rosie Bonds to the camera. So let's pin her name down there. Um, okay, I think I got this right. Okay, I think I did the one right. Office of Arts and Culture. Great, great. If I have to restart again, then I'll actually restart this again. So what we'll do is we'll log out and we'll come back in. Okay, guys? Be right back.